All right, so today we're diving into an organization called Green Energy Management, or GEM for short. Now, they're taking on a massive problem, food deserts, but they're doing it with a really unusual toolkit. We're talking robotic vending machines, cryptocurrency, and a whole franchise network. It's a super ambitious mission, so let's unpack how all these pieces are actually supposed to fit together. Right off the bat, you see their main tagline. It's a clever play on words, right? It promises this world where you can be eco-conscious and profitable without having to make all those painful sacrifices. But, a catchy phrase is one thing. The big question for us today is how in the world do they plan to pull that off? So first up, Section 1, a vision for green. To really get what GEM is building, we've got to start with their core philosophy. And GEM is definitely not some brand new startup. They've actually been working on this since 2010. As you can see here, their journey has really evolved from just having a mission to make an impact to what they're doing today, which is focusing on building a global, scalable network that's built to last. And here's that core promise again, just said a little differently. They're trying to solve that classic dilemma. You know the one. Do I choose what's good for my wallet or what's good for the planet? GEM's whole argument is that you shouldn't have to choose it all. Okay, so that's the big idea. But here's the crucial question. How do you actually build a system that can deliver on a promise like that? We've heard the philosophy, but what is the engine, the actual machine that's supposed to make all this a reality? Well, that brings us to Section 2, unpacking the green machine. And believe it or not, that engine actually has a name. GEM calls it the green machine. It's the technology that powers their entire vision. So, what is the green machine? This is where things get really interesting. The three core pillars are probably not what you'd expect. First, robotic vending machines for food. Second, an asset-backed cryptocurrency, which is key. It means it's tied to real-world stuff, not just market hype. And third, open-source franchise opportunities. It's a very eclectic mix, to say the least. So let's see how it all holds together. So holding up these pillars are two really important operational elements: carbon-neutral mobile units and a system for remote training and management. This tells us the model is designed from the ground up to be scalable, mobile, and super accessible for new partners or franchisees who want to jump in. Okay, let's just recap for a second. We've got vending machines, we've got crypto, and we've got franchises. It's a fascinating business model for sure, but it still feels like we're missing a piece of the puzzle, right? What is the ultimate purpose of this whole machine? What problem is it actually trying to solve? And this brings us to the heart of it all. Section 3, the oasification mission. This is their answer to that huge problem we mentioned, food deserts. The goal is to use their green machine to build a direct pipeline from sustainable farms right to the communities that need fresh food the most. And a key part of this whole thing is their Green Flower project. I mean, you can't solve food deserts without food, right? So this project focuses right on the source, the farmers. They support what's called biodiverse permaculture, which is a really sustainable, self-sufficient way of farming, and the carbon-neutral communities that practice it. This is where the whole oasis really begins. Now, to really grasp their goal, we need to be super clear on the words they're using. A natural desert, like their site defines it, is all about a lack of water. But a food desert is about a lack of access, specifically having limited access to affordable, healthy food. One is a natural thing, the other is a man-made problem they're trying to solve. Wow, this number really puts their mission into perspective. According to GEM's own website, a staggering 90% of the world's population lives in these so-called food deserts. Now, whether that's a precise figure or just a broader estimate, it shows you just how enormous they believe this problem is. It frames their work as something that's globally critical. So, let's move to Section 4, your path to green. We've covered the vision, the tech, and the big mission, so the final question is pretty obvious. How can somebody actually get involved with all this? Well, according to their site, there are two main pathways. The first one is entrepreneurial. You can become a franchisee either by joining their existing network or even by starting your own. The second path is more financial. You can invest directly in their projects, and the promise there is securing your investment while earning dividends and asset growth. This quote they feature on their site, it really seems to capture the essence of their entire model. The vending machines, the crypto, the individual farms, the investors, the franchisees, all of those are these small things that GEM is hoping to bring together to achieve something really great. And that kind of brings us to our final thought. GM is proposing a fascinating, if pretty unconventional, solution to a massive, massive problem. So we're left with this question: can this unique blend of community farming, modern vending tech, and cryptocurrency really create a sustainable, profitable, and genuinely new kind of green economy? It's a really bold vision and definitely one we're thinking about.